One and action.
Consider how different it would be if, when we heard the word psychology, instead of thinking about what goes wrong with us, we find we are filled with curiosity and hope. Oh, do you guys want to wave to the camera?
There you go.
There's 4 people here. Let me start over.
Okay.
Consider how different it would be if, when we heard the word psychology, instead of thinking about what is going wrong with us, we find we are filled with curiosity and hope about what can go right with us. The influence of psychology on Western society is nothing short of culturally transformative, but what a difference it would make if people felt that, just as important as it is to solve what ails us, we utilize our psychological research to find out what is most beautiful, powerful, and good about us. It was Maslow's view that only 2% of people reach their full potential. I have seen the slide for Maslow's hierarchy of needs on countless work presentations. It looks something like this, but usually a little fancier. Okay, and I will explain this a little bit more in a minute. It wasn't until I began to read more fully about him that I discovered just how important his work is to me. If this diagram is true, I now have the opportunity to view my own growth with organization and direction. I can focus on things that I may not have and move forward in my journey toward wholeness and continuity because of it. Today, I don't want to just present the biography of Abraham Maslow or run down a list of facts. But I want to introduce you to a man who was passionate about human potential and sought to uncover the human drive toward things like creativity, growth, overcoming hardships, and human goodness. He was someone who embodied passion and captured what it is to be human. We'll explore Maslow's break from the current psychological theories of his time, his far-reaching theory of self-actualization, and the continuing impact of his humanistic ideas on the world today. While the psychology of Maslow's day was saturated with the world of psychoanalysis and behaviorism, the humanistic movement, of which Maslow is considered a pioneer, has been elevated to be called something of a third force in psychology. And so here we have a Venn diagram of the 3 forces that are dominant in psychology. We have the psychoanalytic, behaviorism, and humanism. Psychology itself is the study of the mind, its functions, and the behavior that follows. When you think of therapy and psychologists, you might think of things like neurotic people talking about their problems, or individuals with personality disorders, diagnoses, or behaviors that contribute to what we call significant human suffering. It's true, Freud's obsession with the neurotic was a powerful force, and it ruled the Western world from the early 1890s to the 1950s. And then it was behaviorism and psychologists like Skinner who stressed cause and effect and the powerful influence of our environment to determine our behavior. And this rocked us into the 60s. It wasn't until the 1950s, however, we see the emergence and flourishing concept we call self-actualization. And it steps onto the scene as a reaction. It's a reaction to the primary focus of psychology as a discipline that saw the human organism through the lens of illness. Maslow's focus, on the other hand, was on human potential, and for this he would leave a lasting legacy. Maslow's most famous contribution is, of course, the hierarchy of needs. The first 4 levels are often referred to as deficiency needs, and the top level is known as growth or being needs. It is a 5-tier pyramid that moves from basic survival to the peak of human experience. The first 4 levels, food, safety, love, and esteem, are considered deficiency needs. Why are they considered this? Well, because without them, we wouldn't survive. Self-actualization is something entirely different. It's about creativity. That's the top tier. It's about creativity and morality. It's about spontaneity. It's about purpose, and it's about meaning. Maslow wasn't offering a prescription for a perfect life. He was pointing toward the beauty of being fully human. Even if only a small fraction of people ever reach that place, the striving itself is transformative. What does it even look like to be someone trying to pursue this transformation anyway? What kind of people become self-actualized? Well, he has a list. He has a list of about 15 different qualities, and I won't go through all of them, but I'd like to name a few because I find them interesting. Someone who self-actualizes is going to be able to deal with uncertainty. They're going to be able to accept themselves and others as they are. They're going to be spontaneous in thought and action. They're going to be resistant, and this is one of my favorites, to what's called enculturation. And they won't be doing that on purpose. They just won't necessarily fit in. They'll be capable of deep appreciation of basic life experiences. They'll have peak experiences and need privacy, a deep need for privacy. And they have strong ethical, moral standards. Though Maslow passed away in 1970, his work lives on. His hierarchy has found a place far beyond psychology. His work is foundational in fields like education, healthcare, business, and personal development. Today, I wanted to share a piece of Maslow, that part of him that speaks to me. He was driven to understand human potential. And I want you to get a sense of how inconsolable he was. He was an individual obsessed with human thriving. Indeed, it was a love for all that the human organism could achieve that captivated Maslow and made him a pioneer and later a legacy. It was his research and creative contributions that made his voice one to listen to. He stood opposed to the narrow views of his time, introduced a theory that shifted the focus of human potential, and left a legacy that continues to inspire us in profound ways. So I leave you with this. Psychology doesn't just have to be about what's gone wrong with us. It can also be about cultivating the deepest and greatest parts of who we are. It can, and that's what Maslow believed. And maybe that's a risk we should take too. After all, he didn't just create a hierarchy of wants. He called them a hierarchy of needs. Thank you for listening.